So from our point of view, having worked in the business for 10 years before that, X-Men was a land of riches and opportunity.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Eric and Julia? I'm a huge fan. You guys have brought me my childhood, and this season, no, the first season of X-Men '97 was amazing. Just thank you guys, for your
Oh,
hard.
you're welcome. About 100 people your age produced a show.
Yeah,
We just helped out a little.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and this show, X-Men '97, it features much more explicit violence, a political terror like the Genosha Massacre, and a complex relationship between Cyclops, Madeline, and Jean Grey than Fox, would ever allow to do, back then. Looking at the finished product, do you feel X-Men '97 is closer to the exact show you wanted to make in 1992 if the network hadn't censored anything?
That's a very interesting take, but we have to remember back 30 years ago. I want to give credit to the folks at Fox Network, Fox Kids,
For
for
letting us do everything that they let us do and make the show as intense and as adult as they let
yeah,
us do. If you look back before that, say Super Friends or something, whatever the standard of an action superhero show was, there was really very little going on and very little adult or three-dimensional or seriously dramatic about
yeah.
it. So we pushed all sorts of things in the drama and the adult nature to the point where, as we were writing it and we were drawing it, people involved around the business were saying, "Oh, they can't do this. This is way too old. This is way too adult. This is
Way too mature.
way too mature for any, I can't sell cereal to this, or nobody's going to watch my uh, TV station with this." So up until the time that it showed and became a number one hit, most of the betting around here, we were all let go after we wrote the first season because most people around us thought there's no way this is going to be successful.
But Margaret Lesh, president of Fox Kids, had worked at Marvel, was a big fan of Stan Lee's, and she said, "I am making this show on my network." And her boss said, "This isn't going to work. I'll give you 13 episodes, but assuming this fails, you're out of your job." Agreed? And she agreed.
It's a great,
So she helped fought all the battles for us,
yeah. So it
but
wasn't
we didn't know that.
it wasn't dumbed down in a way that she was getting a lot of pressure to have. So we only have incredibly fond memories of the executives and the censors. I mean, the first question we had for our censor was, can we kill one of the X-Men in the first story?
Because
Because we wanted to show that there was consequences to being an X-Men, and that's why we put Morph in the team to kill him.
yes,
And to our surprise, she said yes. And
Avery
then
Coburn.
and then a couple seasons later, we said, well, we want to introduce Nightcrawler, but his main thing is that he's devoutly faithful. And she said, okay, you can do an episode about religious faith
On Saturday
on
morning
Saturday morning
on a
for
kids show.
9-year-olds.
What?
So from our point of view, having worked in the business for 10 years before that, X-Men was a land of riches and opportunity
Yeah.
and opportunity to do very, very serious adult things. At the same time, we understand now that it's with Disney Plus, they're able to take it a step further
Yes.
because they're not broadcast television. They're not basically for children. They don't have advertisers to worry about. They can just tell the most intense stories they know how to tell.
And boy, do they.
And so yes, we are thrilled to be part of it. But so yeah, at the time, it felt like we were kind of we were overdoing it, which was
You
great
guys
fun.
done. You guys went tremendous, and I'm glad you guys were able to prove it wrong. And there were some moments in the original show, and I'm like, oh wow, they actually did this back then. When it comes to the religious moment, how Morph originally died, but you
Mhm.
guys, oh wow, it was just so good. And speaking of Jean Grey, Jean was notorious for her fainting of being incapacitated to the show how the high the stakes were in the '90s series. How did you feel about her transition into a much more robust, a physically assertive powerhouse in X-Men '97? Did you ever feel like you mishandled her power skill in the original
But
run?
I,
You have a point about this.
honestly, if you think about it, we couldn't we couldn't show one person punching another person. That's how little violence was allowed. One time, first episode, Wolverine punches Scott.
In the
It's
stomach.
76
Because
episodes.
he has more stats.
That's how little violence we could show so we've got massive supervillains. We wanted to show someone. Actually, Jean's the most powerful of all the X-Men with her mind. But anyway, we wanted to show how overwhelming the violence was against the X-Men. Who's feeling it all? Jean. She's taking it all into her mind, and it's so intense. It's like is it knocks her out. So the fainting wasn't to show she was frail. The fainting was to show that the most intense supervillains in the galaxy are attacking her, and she's protecting the rest of the X-Men, and finally collapsing out of the effort. So that was the intention.
Yeah.
I know some people look back and think the fainting makes her seem frail, but the voice actors understood this is me saving the X-Men from death
With my
by absorbing it
energy.
all into myself.
Yeah.
And that's the way we think of her powers.